Nintendo just revealed their new app, Nintendo Music, and it's weird. People have been wanting to legally, officially listen to Nintendo music for years now. The closest we got was like a mode in Smash Ultimate where you could listen to the soundtrack with the display off, so something like this is long overdue. After using the app, it's pretty much got all the basic stuff that a music player should. Some tracks you can seamlessly loop, which is really nice, but I don't get why some of them you can't. Like, some of them I get why, but why can't I loop Breath of the Wild's overworld theme? The UI is pretty nice, although it's basically just Spotify but red, but it works well enough. I really love the thumbnails they have for most of these tracks. It makes it a lot easier to search for the stuff you want, and it's just nice to have something from the game to look at while you're listening. Besides that, everything nice I have to say about the app is that it has most of the stuff that a music app needs. You can download songs, you can create playlists, and it's just nice to have a place to listen to this stuff without having to open YouTube. Alright, that's about all the good stuff. Now let's get into the problems. First, this app can be pretty slow sometimes. Still quicker than finding songs on YouTube, but definitely not as fast as Spotify. And I've had a few times where I've tried to listen to a song, but it just wasn't playing, and I had to close the app and go back in order to play it. Also, it seems like the app doesn't have any way of recommending you songs based on what you like. Sure, there are the pre-curated playlists, but these aren't tailored to you at all. Plus, I don't think the selection on some of these are very good. This is a playlist of songs to run to. Do they really expect me to run to the horse race theme from Ocarina of Time or KK Ska from Animal Crossing? You know what would be a great way to find music? If we could see other people's user-created playlists. Why not allow us to make our playlist public like Spotify does? That way searching would show me a bunch of great playlists created by humans I could use to discover a bunch of great tracks. Nintendo's playlists don't really cut it here. I found a lot of great Nintendo music through random compilations on YouTube, and if Nintendo is charging to pay for Nintendo music now, they're definitely going to crack down on a bunch of YouTube videos that use their music. I have no idea why this isn't a feature. Are they afraid that people will use playlists to create some obscene message? When Nintendo doesn't allow me to gift games to friends or use voice chat on Switch, I can at least kind of understand that it's to protect kids, even if I don't really like it. But I really don't get the point of not letting us do this. At least let us view our friends' profiles and the playlists they've made. You can share links to playlists you've made, but you can't listen to them on browser, so I guess the only legal way to listen to Nintendo music is on your phone. Something like Spotify's radio feature would be really nice for discovering music, where you can pick a song and then a playlist is generated of songs that have a similar feeling to it. I think that would work a lot better than some of the playlists they've picked by hand, but maybe they can't really implement that because of how few games are included here. But that's its own issue. The variety of games they have at launch is not good. They've confirmed they're adding a lot of other games, but if they want this to be its own music app, it needs a lot more variety than it has now, like 10 times as much. Drip feeding games to their online service is one thing. I get that sometimes it can take extra work to port games over, but these are just MP3 files. You're really telling me they couldn't get Mario 64's soundtrack here at launch? What, does it take them too long to capture the thumbnails? How long will it take for these games' music to be released? Weeks? Months? Years? What about games that aren't included here? Are they coming after all of these games? Are we gonna have to wait months to listen to music from Xenoblade, or Mario Galaxy 2, or Tears of the Kingdom, or Smash Ultimate, if these games ever make it? Is this just to build artificial hype? Do they expect people to be cheering in joy over the fact that we can finally listen to the songs that have existed for years, sometimes decades already? How long will it take to get music from Kid Icarus Uprising, or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, or Custom Robo, or games with even smaller fan bases? Of course, all of the problems I've mentioned have the potential to change. For all I know, Nintendo will fix all of this a week from now. But these problems don't really need to exist. The missing features, the bugs, the speed, this would all be fixed if Nintendo was just willing to toss all these soundtracks on Spotify. But for some reason, Nintendo was just too stubborn to let you listen to their music and other music in the same app. What about Nintendo's philosophy requires me to listen to Mario Galaxy music and Stardew Valley music in 2 separate apps? Nintendo Music doesn't feel like a music platform that's trying to replace Spotify. It feels like it wants you to buy it on top of the music platform you already listen to. It reminds me of the streaming wars, forcing you to buy a bunch of separate products just to watch different shows locked on different surfaces. Imagine if Disney or Warner Brothers only let you listen to their music in their app, and how horrible that would be. Nintendo put more effort into developing a separate app to give fans a worse experience than they'd have if they just put all their stuff on Spotify. If you're gonna make this a separate app from Spotify, then don't just make it a lesser Spotify. Do something else with it. In fact, here are a few ideas of what they could add to make this app stand out. Let people create and share profiles, show off their favorite tracks and playlists, maybe have unlockable profile pictures or backgrounds for people that have listened to music for long enough. It can make the app more of a fun social platform. Imagine if this app had a theater mode, some way to just have your phone display nice backgrounds from the game while listening to music, maybe with ambient noises from the game. Funnily enough, Alarmo had this, so the Nintendo Music app should at least be able to match that. Maybe the Animal Crossing theater would have the sound of wind and ocean waves in the background, and it would naturally transition from 1 hour soundtrack to the next after an hour had passed. What if this app had something like Street Pass on 3DS, but instead of finding people who you're next to, you find people with the same music taste as you? Maybe if you're in the same theater mode as someone else at the same time, you can see both of your Miis just hanging out in the world together. What if this app had themes based on different Nintendo series? The UI is so minimalist right now, it could use some personality. Imagine a Mario Galaxy theme with a Starry Night background, the Mario Galaxy font, and Lumas dancing around the screen. What about a Wii theme with a white background that makes every playlist look like its own Wii channel? Or a Tomodachi Life theme that makes every playlist look like its own apartment window? Or a Splatoon theme that makes the play bar at the bottom look like the Turf War results screen? Some people would probably prefer to be minimalist and keep that as an option, but if people are passionate enough to download an app that only plays video game music, they're definitely passionate enough to give it a theme around a game they love. Again, Alarmo had themes. The Nintendo Music app should too. I've gone on long enough. The Nintendo Music app just feels like a lot of missed opportunities, but who knows, maybe it'll get better. Just, if anyone at Nintendo is watching this, please leave these YouTube videos alone, they don't deserve it. Thanks for watching.